We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret society, opposed to secret oaths, opposed to secret proceedings, secret proceedings. No official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.
Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. It is 6:30 a.m., Monday, May 30th. Hope everyone's doing all right. Just got off work. We actually had a decently steady night, which is good. Normally on Sundays, there's no more trucks coming in on Sundays due to food shortages, so we haven't really had much to do on Sundays except for conditioning the whole store, which sucks. But we actually had a bunch left over from Saturday and just being behind, missing people. Not enough people. One guy's on vacation. I've been having to train for the past 2 nights, so that took up a lot of my time. But yeah, as far as updates, today I'm off, which is cool. Probably going to watch the new Stranger Things season, so that'll be cool. Yeah, cook some dinner, some salmon. I missed out past couple days. They've had at the fort here in town, basically like a Native American flute concert, but I've had to work, so sadly I haven't got to go and do that. It's been a bummer. Memorial Day's today, so happy Memorial Day, everyone. If you served or whatever, thank you for your service. But yeah, let's get on with the show. So let's get on with our first story. Health brand launches womb-shaped cereal to break period stigma. Which is, in my opinion, kind of gross. It's literally, there'll be an image if you're watching on YouTube. It's literally like the female organs. And honestly, I'm not a dude who's like prude or anything like that. My wife could tell you I'm a freak. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a pervert, a freak in the sheets. But just thinking about it and seeing the cereal, it's like literal organs, and it turns the milk like pink. I don't know. It's just kind of gross. Not really something I want to be thinking about while I'm eating cereal. A menstrual-themed breakfast featuring womb-shaped cereal has been launched in a bid to kickstart conversations about periods in the home. In an effort to highlight the lack of period conversations among friends and family, intimate wellness brand Intimina has created Period Crunch, a unique uterus-shaped breakfast cereal. Each and every raspberry-flavored piece of the cereal is shaped like a uterus and bright red, which dyes the milk a distinctive red. The box also includes conversation prompts, and a diagram of the female reproductive system for people to identify where the uterus is located in the body. The unusual launch has inspired by a survey of over 2,000 adults from the brand, which showed that almost half, 48%, of people are too embarrassed to talk about their period. Can you imagine like your mom like eating that in the morning and just like, hey son, let's talk about periods. Let's talk about my period in general. While more than three-quarters, 77%, have never mentioned their periods in everyday household social settings, such as around the breakfast table. Well, yeah, because no one wants to think about that while they're eating. Dude, I actually ain't gonna lie. Would that be something you all would be interested in? A YouTube video of me doing a taste test on this? If I could actually find it, let me know in the comments. In further surprising statistics, it turns out 82% of people are unable to correctly identify where the uterus is. The uniquely shaped cereal is designed to act as a conversation starter and aims to help break down the ongoing social barriers around period talk. Dr. Sri Datta, gynecologist for Intimina, I can read, I swear, says, I'm delighted that Intimina has taken the bull by the horns and developed Period Crunch to help raise awareness of the ongoing social stigma around periods. Periods are a natural part of who we are, so it's deeply concerning to hear that so many people remain uncomfortable discussing them when they are just another part of our health. It's heartbreaking to hear that 25% of people have taught themselves about periods when there's support available. I look forward to Period Crunch Kickstarter conversations and breaking down barriers over the breakfast table. The brand created the menstrual-themed cereal as part of its ongoing Seen Plus Heard Period Positivity campaign, which aims to normalize and increase the visibility of menstrual well-being. Look, I have no problem with discussing periods with my wife. I would have no problems discussing it with someone else if that's really what they wanted to talk about, but I don't understand why you have to make it a gross cereal to do it, and why would you want to discuss it while eating? I mean, I have a strong stomach. It wouldn't bother me, but I would look at the person like, why are you, like, why? Why do we have to talk about this, like, while we're eating? I just don't understand why you have to talk about it while you're eating. I mean, that's like, I poop, but I wouldn't sit there and make a poop shaped cereal where and be like, look, it turns the milk brown. Let's talk about my daily pooping habits. Periods are normal, and talking about periods should be normal, emphasizes Daniela Zagar, a spokesperson for Intimina. But because of the ongoing stigma around menstruation, period conversations remain difficult and embarrassing for people even with loved ones. There's not a more normal and everyday scene than the whole household sitting down together at the kitchen table and talking over a meal. And if period conversations were truly normalized, then they wouldn't be off this table. Or off any table for that matter. But as our research shows, conversations about periods at home are a few and far between. For the sake of our physical and mental health, we need to talk more about our menstrual health. And that's what Period Crunch cereal is designed to raise awareness of and to make a statement about. Oh shit. Hang on. Technical difficulties. Despite recent strides made in normalizing period conversations, which included Pantone releasing a new color to tackle the stigma surrounding menstruation and a proposal for a new period emoji, it is clear more needs to be done. Back in 2019, a survey suggested a third of men believe it is unprofessional for women to talk about their period in the workplace. Yeah, just like it's unprofessional to talk about shitting in the workplace. Imagine if, like, at work, like, in the presence of women and men, I was just like, I'm gonna go take a shit, and just walked away. Like, you just don't do that. No one needs to know. None of their business. While amongst half of the workplace will have to navigate having a period at work every month, it seems they have to do so in secret, with the survey finding 32% of men think it is unprofessional. Okay, we just read that. Another survey found that just under half of women are still using a code name when referring to their period. The survey, by period product subscription service, Mondays, found women are turning to covert code names because many believe the term period sounds dirty, rude, awkward, and embarrassing. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. I don't know. I think it's a gross cereal design. I don't think that women should be ashamed to talk about it. I just think there's a place and a time for that type of talk, and there's certain people to talk about that with. But that's just me. Maybe I'm old-fashioned. I mean, I consider myself an old-school liberal, a classical liberal, but hell, I've been called a Trump supporter and Antifa in the same week, so who the fuck knows? So here's something interesting. Interesting if you're not a flat earther. I'm agnostic on what the shape of the earth is. I actually believe there are satellites up in space. And here recently, I actually believe the ISS is up in space. Do I believe that people are on the ISS? No. I believe those people are probably in a low orbit or a high orbit plane with zero gravity filming. But I do not believe there's actually people on the ISS. But I do believe the ISS is up there. I seen basically some dude recorded the ISS going in front of the moon through a telescope, and you can actually see it. There's something up there, and it's the exact shape of the ISS. But I don't believe we went to the moon. I don't believe there's people on the ISS. But I do believe in Starlink. People have seen it. I believe in satellites. So that's just me. I'm sure I'll get hate in the comment section. But I found this interesting. Space hotel slated to welcome Earthlings in 2025. Booking your next vacation to space with out-of-this-world views could be soon a reality. Orbital Assembly Corporation announced 2 new station concepts designed with space tourism accommodations. One of the stations, dubbed Pioneer, could orbit Earth as early as 2025. The Gateway Foundation circulated ideas for a space hotel in 2019. The goal of the stations is to run a space business park that can serve as a home away from home with room for offices and tourists, reports Francesca Street for CNN. The proposed Pioneer Station can accommodate 28 people, reports Stephanie Wenger for People. The second station, Voyager, scheduled to open in 2027, can hold up to 400 people, previously announced in 2019. The Voyager station was known as the Von Braun station, but was later rebranded. Gee, I wonder why. Werner von Braun. He was a frickin' Nazi. Literally. Quote, the goal was always been to make it possible for large amounts of people to live, work, and thrive in space. Orbital Assemblies COO Tim Alator tells CNN. A smaller station like Pioneer allows people to start experiencing space on a larger, faster scale. Alator explains CNN. Pioneer will also have research facilities available to rent. Both stations resemble a wheel and will feature artificial gravity that allows guests to move comfortably on each station. Artificial gravity technology is not available on space stations currently, People reports. Pioneer features 5 modules built around the rotating gravity ring architecture design. Facilities on both the Pioneer and Voyager stations will have hybrid microgravity and variable gravity levels up to 0.57 G, reports Sean Cudahy for The Points Guy. Tourists may still feel some weightlessness, but will also be able to drink out of a cup and won't have to be strapped to a bed to sleep. The gravity works similar to how a spinning bucket pushes the water out to the sides of the bucket and stays in place. Alator explains to CNN in a previous interview, near the middle of the station there will be no artificial gravity, but gravity gradually increases further away from the center. So it's like a spinning wheel, it makes sense. While the Pioneer station will be smaller than Voyager, guests can still shower, eat, and drink sitting down in areas with gravity. Each station is furnished with luxury hotels on Earth. Renderings of what Voyager may look like feature a restaurant and suites with views of the Earth. The ethics of space tourism and associated costs are currently in ongoing conversations as billionaires Jeff Bezos with Blue Origin and Elon Musk with SpaceX plan missions into outer space. However, Wendy Whitman-Cobb, an Air Force political scientist, tells the Shira Ovid for the New York Times that rocketing non-astronauts to space opens the doors for advancing technologies, generates enthusiasm about space travel, and tests safety parameters of traveling to and from space. Another significant barrier to space travel is the cost. However, Orbital expects tourists to seek a trek into space as space travel eventually becomes less expensive, per The Points Guy. We envision our Pioneer and Voyager space stations as the ultimate ecotourism destinations. Once people get to space, it will change their perspective about Earth, Alator tells People. Space travel is still in its infancy, and we are excited to do our part to push it forward to help improve life on Earth. Well, it all sounds cool, but my thing is I'll believe it when I see it. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Okay, so I was listening to a podcast that I like to listen to called Whiskey, Beer, and Conspiracies, and they were talking about this on an episode that they did covering Skinwalker Ranch. And somehow this flew under my radar. It's kind of old news, but I don't know. I thought you might find it interesting. Post Malone spends some time at Skinwalker Ranch with the owner. Mystery Wire. Singer Post Malone recently spent some time exploring Skinwalker Ranch in Utah with its owner, Brandon Fugal. Fugal posted 3 pictures on Twitter showing himself and Malone at the ranch. In the pictures, Malone can be seen carrying a large gun, although it is not clear why. Anyone who knows anything about Skinwalker Ranch knows why you would carry a large gun, because there's large wolves. Dire wolves, to be specific, have been sighted at Skinwalker Ranch. Let's see. Although it is not clear why, the pictures show Malone and Fugal in the ranch's security center, inside a cabin and outside of a cabin. Malone is no stranger to the oddities that have been documented at Skinwalker Ranch over the years. The singer has even talked publicly before about his belief in UFOs and other experiences he says he's had. In fact, in July of last year, Malone sat down with Joe Rogan for an almost 4-hour podcast recording in which Malone said his first sighting came as a teenager. "I've seen one," he told Rogan. "I was probably 16. I was in upstate New York, and it would just stay there. My aunt and uncle were very strict, and we had to go to bed at a very strict deadline, probably 10 p.m. I was looking out the window with my cousin, and it was just a light that just stays there and then just fucking goes off. You can't explain it." So, here, let me see. Here's some audio of that actual interview.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
If aliens are real, I'm not 100% convinced, but I'm probably like 90% convinced. But if they are real, I leave in the room for bullshit. It's like, Jamie, get a picture of your shirt. Show everybody the shirt you're wearing, why we're talking about that. It's a UFO. It says, "Can they see it?" Believe that. That's a dope shirt.
Exactly. That's a saucer, if I've ever seen one.
I think if they're here, they're not going to let us. That's what I think.
Well, that's what
I think they're going to swoop in and go, hey.
Well, that's fuck. I'm 25, right? I can't speak on anything, but just looking from past experience, and there's like drawings, like
right.
Even in the Mona Lisa, there's a weird thing or whatever in the background
like
and shit. But there's a spike. Mm-hmm. It's a spike, and because it's getting pretty weird here.
The spike, they think, it's hard to tell, because sometimes when people talk about UFOs, a bunch of other people hallucinate or lie. Like, there's a lot of that.
Right.
So every time there's a real legit UFO, right. You get a bunch of nut cases who just want to tell crazy shit
right.
about being taken
on board spaceships.
I mean, you seen the UFO?
Yeah.
What'd you think? What'd it look like?
I was probably 16. I was in upstate New York, and it would just stay there. So let me precursor this. My aunt and uncle were very strict, and we had to go to bed at a very strict deadline, probably 10 p.m. And I was looking out the window with my cousin, and it's just a light that just stays there and then just fucking goes off. I mean, you can't explain it.
Well, if you're 17 at the time?
16.
How,
probably.
How strong is this memory when you're looking at it, when you're trying to remember it? Medium? Yeah.
But I mean, there's something there.
For sure something took off and did something that didn't make sense to you?
For sure. And then in Utah, I mean, their shit happens all the time. I mean, even here in LA, I can't tell you how many times, because I used to live in Tarzana. So there was like a balcony here, and it looked kind of like, it sounds corny, but like a classic like force field. Whenever you think of a force field, and it just kind of goes like this, and it's kind of like a dome in a circular shape, and it just goes like this and goes back in.
Whoa.
In Tarzana, looking down at the fucking city, and I'm like, how did no one else see this?
They might have.
But I was there with like fucking 4 other people, and they saw it too.
The thing about unique events is if a unique event happens and then never happens again, it's hard to remember. It's hard to be sure what you saw. It's hard, but if aliens are visiting us, like how often are they doing it? Like unique events would probably be what it would be.
Right.
It'd be like occasionally, once every 6 months, someone sees one somewhere. But they're here all the time. They probably just know how to evade detection. I mean, if something can travel here from another planet, it's going to be able to know when they're being watched and when they're not being watched. That's not going to be hard.
That's why you got to wonder if it's like intentional.
I think there's enough talk about it now that we're probably going to find out what it is in our lifetime. I never would think that before. I think the government withheld information for whatever reason. Maybe they think people are scared. Maybe they think it's a threat to the national security, to have a bunch of people worried that aliens are flying around us all the time. There's nothing we can do about it. Maybe they had a conversation and they thought maybe it'd be better to keep people in the quiet or keep them in the dark so that they don't freak out, because there's nothing we can do about it anyway. If we just tell them that there's aliens that are visiting us all the time, that's not going to be good. They're not going to pay attention to taxes and mortgage rates and the stock market.
They're
going to
care about uranium and
there's
shit
aliens.
like that.
They're around us all the time.
Yeah.
People are going to freak out. So I think like little drops of like this, the recent one they said, or they
what did the Pentagon just say? Literally like 2 fucking days ago.
They've recovered crafts that are not from this world, not made on Earth.
Not made on Earth.
Not made on Earth.
Yeah.
They're basically saying we don't know what the fuck it is, but we didn't make it. That's bananas, and I think that's going to lead to more and more information coming out about it, where we're going to try to get a sense of understanding. Like, how long have they known this? How much of like all that Roswell, New Mexico shit was true? Like, tell us what was going on.
And backtracking, you got to wonder if we've been hiding this the whole time, or this is the first time for real that we don't know.
This is what I like to think. I like to think that the people that are in charge at the Pentagon are patriots, and they realize it's probably better, especially when you're dealing with the United States that's in this kind of turmoil that they're in right now. It's crazy. Between racial turmoil and turmoil with the police and turmoil with people protesting in cities and blocking traffic, there's so much crazy turmoil. They'd be like, no one's even going to notice now. Just let it. Say it now. Just say, we got UFOs. Like, everything is so crazy. The news cycle of any crazy story like this is only a few days, and then people forget.
Well, or it's just people already know, and it's just normalization. And you think about movies, it's just normalizing you to the idea that I can't even, like the Canadian, don't quote me on this, but a Canadian, someone in office was like, there's like 7 species of aliens in the U.S. government.
It would be crazy if it was true.
That's
Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith.
Do y'all remember that?
All along.
Yeah, check that out. Please fact check that.
Is he a loony person though?
I have no idea.
See, people can get elected and still be crazy. That's a problem.
For certain.
That's a problem. Just because like when you hear about someone having like a really high profile job, and they say something crazy, it doesn't mean they're not crazy just because they're the prime minister of some fucking country. They could be out of their mind.
What do we got? Something close to that. How close?
Canada's former defense minister claims that aliens are real. Apparently, there is a humanoid-esque race of aliens called the Tall Whites living among us. Huh.
What publication is this? Is this Vice?
There's a few other places.
Well, there's a few. So it's like a real deal.
Definitely said it. Seriously.
Come on.
That's crazy shit.
Yeah, that is crazy shit. The thing is that guy nuts? Like, what else does he believe in? How does he feel about ghosts? Right? when you think about like an alien sighting, like if you saw an alien and then you never saw one again for the rest of your life,
Right.
it would fuck with your memory, even if the alien was real. If a saucer
Right.
emerged in front of you and then took off, that's the same thing with a ghost. Like if you saw a fucking ghost, if you walked into your basement to go get a screw for something, and you turned and you saw an apparition of a woman who
Right.
was like staring you down. Did you
Right.
ever see that Guillermo del Toro movie about the lady who's a ghost who adopts kids?
No.
Dude, it's a dark movie. What is it called? Mother? What is it called? It's fucking creepy.
Is it?
It's
Do
creepy.
you like horror movies?
I love them.
Me too.
I love
I'm
them.
a dirty little bitch. I love horror movies.
It's called Mama.
Mama, yes, that's it.
Oh, is that?
Bro,
is-
it's so
that's not
creepy.
with two Swedish kids, right?
I don't.
Does she
remember-
have two?
This is it. This
two
is it.
sons?
Did you see this?
No.
She has two kids.
No, I haven't seen that.
She's well, I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give the story away, but it's crazy. She finds these kids in the woods and raises them. She's a ghost, and it's a
Sure.
fucking terrifying movie.
She's a ghost. Wait,
Yes. And so
is that a
people adopt
spoiler?
the kids. They find the kids. I can't tell you anymore. I can't tell you
Spoiler
anymore.
alert.
I can't tell you anymore. No, you know she's a ghost from the very beginning of the movie.
Okay, good. Yeah, this is
Again.
terrifying.
Dude, it's fucking horrifying. It's a terrifying movie.
Well, you get the best of both worlds, right? You get a creepy, like, mom style, and then you get
Yes.
creepy kids, which are,
get
like,
both.
the
You get
double
a kid.
terrifying.
I
What's the
can't
movie
say, I
I'm
can't say
thinking
anymore without spoiler alert in it.
I think it might be called, so it's two kids. It might be Swedish or, like, Norwegian or something.
Is it
And-
the vampire movie?
No,
There's a vampire movie, a foreign vampire movie. Is it Let the Right One In? I think it is, or is that the American version of it?
Let the Right One In is a scary movie.
That's a scary movie, right?
Yeah.
That's a vampire movie about vampire kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, the thing about a ghost is if you saw one and if they're just real every now and then, you saw one and it was right in front of you, you're in the woods,
Right.
you're going to walk your dog and you see some old man with no legs floating in front
That's
of
the
you.
one.
Good night, mommy.
Yeah.
Oh, good night, mommy. What's this one about?
I don't know.
Same kind of deal?
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
spoiler alert.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Did you see something good?
Yeah.
I missed it.
Some scary lady in the corner.
Check that motherfucker out. That's
Okay.
good.
I'm scared.
But you see him in the woods,
Yeah.
please.
Oh, yeah, if you saw some apparition in the woods and then you never saw it again for the rest of your life, it doesn't mean it wasn't real.
Right.
It just means it's really rare that happens. Like, that's a thing about a unique event. Like, imagine if you're an ant your whole fucking life.
Right.
All you've ever known is this anthill. Everybody's chilling, working every day, chopping up leaves, going out and getting popcorn or whatever shit it finds. And then one day, some person comes along like Post Malone, just stomps the fuck out of that anthill.
Sure.
Till that moment, all that thing has ever known was that anthill. Never even knew that it was possible for something to, because it's been alive for a couple of weeks. During that couple of weeks, no one's ever stomped on the anthill. But then it happens. And then you realize that there's no pattern to these things. Anything can happen. Like, if you're a person, aliens can land. They can
Yeah.
land on the White House lawn
Yeah.
tomorrow and take over the world. And there's nothing we can do about it. Like, that could be our new normal. Okay, fuck masks. The new normal is there's alien spaceships that hover over every city and they tell you what to do. And you have to work for them now. Forever.
To the ant argument, we're smarter than ants.
Yes, we are. But we're, in comparison, probably dumber than aliens are. Like, we're
Oh,
dumber
most-
in comparison to aliens than ants are to people.
Well, that's right. You like all
That's a
these
guess.
celestial sightings. Yeah, I mean, this is all spitballing here.
But it could be possible, right?
Celestial sightings documented throughout history.
Throughout history.
Hey, I just made a fire. This is dope, right? Fire's cool. But what the fuck is that? That has to be
Yeah.
God. Like, man has always looked up for answers.
It's true.
And so that's why it's a scary thing.
The
Because
idea.
do they want to hurt us, or did we come from them?
I don't think it's impossible. I don't think it's impossible that we're a product of genetic manipulation. I don't know if we are. I know we're definitely primates.
We're just playthings, maybe.
We just look so different than every other monkey. All the other monkeys are covered in hair. This is this weird semi-hairless monkey. You know, who knows how to use electronics? Who knows how to send video through the sky?
You know the Anunnaki?
Yes.
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 If Lou was here, I got a great friend, Lou. Shout out to Lou. He would talk your ear off about this whole deal.
About this to an actual archaeologist yesterday.
Or the Nephilim.
Bradley Garrett. Yeah, the Nephilim or the Anunnaki from planet Nibiru, all that Zachariah Sitchin stuff. You ever read those books?
No, sir.
The books are weird, man. You know what's weird? Like, there's stuff that he was saying in, like, I believe it was like the 1970s, where he was deciphering these texts. And one of the things that he said is, this is the craziest one of all. Humans were genetically engineered from lower primates, and they were used to harvest gold. And that the Anunnaki needed gold because gold is very plentiful here,
right,
and very hard to find, very rare on their planet.
Right.
And they engineered humans to mine. That's why people love gold so much.
Right.
If you think about like the usefulness of gold,
right,
gold isn't even remotely. It's unless you're making electronics. Like, gold's not the best metal. Like, why is it so valuable? Because it's pretty. Well, it's not even the prettiest shit. Like, rubies are prettier than gold. Emeralds are prettier than gold. Why is gold so goddamn expensive?
Well, where does diamonds fit in?
It's a good question. Probably just someone tricked a chick into thinking it was a good move.
I was reading about, like, there's like one movie, she had a diamond and then popped off.
Let me finish what I'm saying because this is where it gets weird. They said that they needed it to hang in their atmosphere to protect them from the sun because they were losing their atmosphere. Well, we're losing our atmosphere. And one of the things that scientists have suggested is hanging reflective particles above the Earth, like putting them in orbit, like a reflective dust in orbit, so that it would mute out some of the effects of the sun. So what they suggested, what he was saying in 1978 is what they suggested in like 2018.
Right.
So when they're talking about how to fix some of the global warming issues, they were literally saying some of the stuff that was in this book that he was reading. He's deciphering these ancient Sumerian texts from 6,000 years ago.
No shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was about to ask,
if his interpretations
where did
are right,
he get it from?
He is just a guy who's a linguist who studies these ancient languages and reinterprets them, but it's very highly in dispute. That's the problem. Like, you or I, we're not going to figure it out. We're not going to know who's right. It's too complicated.
Right.
But there's a website called sitchiniswrong.com, and if you go there, it refutes all of these. I don't know who's right or who's wrong, but it's interesting to see the argument. But again, whatever the fuck was going on back then, 6,000 years ago, whatever was going on, they were writing about some wacky shit.
Right.
You know, they were.
And is that the shrooms, or is
it contact?
Yeah.
It's not impossible. We could have easily been contacted by some other life form that's similar to us, but that's a million years advanced.
Right.
We could have been contacted all throughout history.
Right.
Yeah. Up until 1860, whatever the fuck it was, all you would have is a drawing and a story. Imagine that.
How famous people? Who the fuck knows? But now, if you look at the last 200 years, it has accelerated like a motherfucker. And there's so much, like, 200 years ago, people would look at the Bronco or anything like that and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what is that?
It happened so quick.
It's happening so quick right now. I mean, that SpaceX thing, they've already figured out how to get something to fly into the sky and then bring it back and land it.
It's insane.
Yeah. We are in a weird fucking time, and if the aliens come right now, it's probably the best time to come. We're going to be the most relaxed about it. No one's been able to work for 6 months.
I feel like everybody's,
People are scared to shake hands.
What are you going to do?
Everyone's terrified.
Are you going to say hi?
To the aliens?
Are you going to grab your bow?
Oh, I'm going to say hi for sure. I'm not stupid. You come here from not kicking anybody's ass. Yeah, I'm not even interested in kicking someone's ass from another dimension. I just want to say hi. Tell me what's up.
Tell me what's actually
I want to have an alien on the podcast. Can you imagine?
I could call
Imagine
Tyler
some
up.
3 foot tall, 40-pound dude with a giant bulbous head and like antenna-like fingers, and he's explaining how they traverse space and time instantaneously.
No.
Can you imagine? They're making sounds, and you interpret those sounds no matter what language you're in all over the world. You instantaneously interpret
Well, it'd
what
be
they're
through
saying.
your brain. You wouldn't be able to hear them.
Yeah, they would do it through a podcast. They'd be
They
able
would
to
do it
engineer
through-
the sounds they make.
They would
We'd have
do
to
it
realize,
through.
what is this sound, and
Through
why do I
Shure
understand what he's saying?
SM78s.
They would hit you with some sound that's so complex you would understand exactly what they're saying,
Yeah.
even though you don't know the language. And everybody would be like, what in the fuck is going on? Oh my god, there's an alien on the JRE. And that's what it would be. Me talking to some alien.
They better give you some more goddamn money.
I think that's the least of our problems when the aliens come. That shit is going to be wiped
Well,
off.
that's when we need gold.
Yeah, we're going to be gold miners again, folks. We're going to look for some sturdy person with a wide back. That's what's going to be valuable. Thank you. But I mean, good enough to mine gold? I don't know. You imagine if that's life in the future. They come down and go, you get 2 choices. One, we eat you. 2, you mine gold for us.
Are they eating
Stay alive.
humans?
Why not? Why wouldn't they eat us? They'd be like, listen, you guys are just protein. You're assholes.
They probably eat clouds.
Yeah.
Or like energy. They probably just eat energy.
Yeah, maybe they just exist in some sort of
Dude, they're probably
redundant
not even
system.
fucking material.
Probably.
They're probably just fucking ethereal.
Well, maybe they figured out a way to make life. So maybe they figured out a way how to make life where you can transfer your consciousness in some eternal mechanical thing.
All right, so that clip was actually longer than I expected, but I don't know. I hope you all enjoyed. Y'all please like, share, and subscribe, and have a good day.
We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret society, opposed to secret oaths, opposed to secret proceedings, secret proceedings. No official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.